This is what happened when I played an entire year of this cozy farm game where you can murder people. This is a game where every character is aging, you can get married, have a kid, and play as your own child after you die. If you're new here, follow to hear about new games. The game starts with you making a character, getting on a ship with your best friend when a storm hits. The ship sinks and you're the only survivor, washing ashore to be saved by Luna McBell. I head out into town for the first time and I meet a cute fisherwoman and introduce myself to the local blacksmith. I find a broken bridge and meet an old lady who talks about a blood moon. I'm sure she's harmless. Day 2, it's time to work on the farm and take a peek at crafting. Everything is really expensive and hard to make. While I'm sulking and stomping around, we meet Isabella Whitfield for the first time. She's in a pretty little bonnet and a fancy dress. I run into her again at the carpenter's after completing a village quest for her. I feel woozy, and not just because I ate a bad plant right before coming in here. There's feelings in little Morphy's tum-tum. She gave me some fruitcake. We're smitten. In the middle of the night, we wake up to a strange noise. Could be bad fruitcake, could be nightmares from falling in love, but we go to investigate.
I'm afraid I haven't seen a ghost around here.
Day 6 of spring, we get our first harvest of turnips. The other crops aren't quite ready yet. We continue to take villager quests and build relations with the town. You need to take these quests and complete them as often as you can. It's day 7 and Isabella catches me stress eating because I'm taking as many quests as I can. I follow her into the ice house and find a cranky old man in there, and I get shy, so I stomp out. Sunday, market day, the village comes together. You can easily find everyone and buy their goods all in one place. It's very cute. I promise a small child to find their doll for them because that's the type of person I am, but I forget about it and I never do because that's also the type of person that I am. It's time for the first wedding of this playthrough. And while in there, at first little Morphium Lele is sat there and she thinks, ugh, a wedding, blah, who would want love? This is yucky. I don't need no man or woman, I'm a strong independent farmer. She stomps off, muttering about stupid love and stupid feelings, and finds herself sat in a graveyard, thinking about life, pondering about the future and who will miss her when she's gone and what will she leave behind. She's determined to make the time to find love and make a family. We stop at the livestock farm to cheer ourselves up, which is something that I do many times a week, although not at a livestock farm. She stares at the ducklings, just like I look at these spring babies. It's impossible to be mad or sad or anything other than filled with happiness and a feeling of lightness when looking at baby animals. It's day 8 and we're gifted a beef a la mode from Isabella. I don't know what beef a la mode is. I've never actually had beef a la mode, but I gladly accept it because it's from her. I gift her a flower that I picked. She says it's unique. I think she really liked it because I'm really good at reading faces, and this is the face of a woman who just got a gift that she really likes. Good girl Morphe sees a child struggling to pick the last cherry from a tree and does what any good girl would. Picks it for herself to spare the child the anguish of the struggle. I discover a bee farm and decide that this is exactly what I want my house to look like. It's day 9 and we get our first collection of peas and wheat. Later on, little Morphium Lele's hanging around outside the mayor's house, waiting for him to appear so she can pay her taxes. Boo taxes. She gets tired of waiting and decides to let herself in. She hears beautiful music coming from the other room and goes to see, only to find Isabella playing the piano. What's she doing here in this rich and fancy house? Her crush, Isabella, turns out to be Isabella Whitfield, the mayor's daughter. She tells Morphe she's happy to see her, and we just stand there, our mouth open, our eyes wide, and dreaming of what might be. Worried if a girl like Isabella could ever fall in love with a simple, broke farmer from a far-off land who washed up on these shores. Later that day, and totally by chance, and definitely not as a result of stalking, Morphe finds Isabella at the graveyard. She's mourning. Who? A lost love? An old family member? We will never know. Day 10, I decide to go down the mine for the first time, but I'm told I need a lantern. I go to buy one, but I accidentally buy a lantern that is a street lamp. I can't take this down a mine with me. I spent all of my money on it. I'm bereft. I try out some fishing to earn my money back. The fishing minigame is actually great. If you struggle with it, it can be turned off in the menu. Again, you can just hit a button and get the fish instantly. This is great for accessibility, or if you're annoyed or bored of the fishing game, and if you're trying to earn money or fish quickly. Day 11, there's a quest posted that Isabella has lost her hair comb. This is Morphe's chance. She rushes off to find it and to return it, and when she does, Isabella remarks that half the furniture in her house is made by Jack, the local carpenter. He's great. He's great. Upset and jealous, Morphe stomps away, not to learn how to make furniture or to woo Isabella any better, but to learn how to do away with Jack Watt. It's day 13 of spring and it's the fishing festival. Catch as many fish as you can in the time allowed to win. At the dock you can also find different ships through the seasons sometimes. Empire ships, pirate ships, they all have different goods to buy. You can get a nice pirate outfit from Blackbeard, for example. Look at the goods that you can turn in for the fishing tokens and decide that I need that rainbow fishing rod. I win the fishing competition because of course I do, and I get prizes, but I need to do some more fishing before 6 PM to earn enough tokens for the rod. At this point in time in spring we have two love interests, the mayor's daughter Isabella Whitfield and Rose Swain, the local ginger fisher girl. But then I learned from getting to know her and her traits that she's a drunkard. Little Morphy got the ick and decided to focus on Isabella. We're not going to fall into the trap of I can fix her this time. It's day 14 and we have our first death in the village. Sorry, I don't know why I laughed. I was still thinking about the previous line. It's not funny, it's sad. Luna McBell, the nice old lady who rescued us on that first fateful day, has passed on. It's like genuinely pretty sad that it's the person that saved us, you know? Wow, just stand in front of me, why don't you?
As we deliver her to the ground and to the other side. Thank you for coming, everyone. There'll be cookies and ale somewhere.
Day 16. The rude old man who got in the way of Morphy and Isabella's ice house rendezvous died. We do a happy little jig and take a joyful walk in the woods to enjoy some nature.
A bear. Look. Sleeping. Hi, baby. Can I give you some food or something? Oh, nuzzle, nuzzle. And you gave me a bear claw.
Isabella gifts little Morphy a lamb sweetbread, which is only interpreted in the most sane of ways by the most sane of individuals. This is her way of no doubt calling us sweet, telling Morphy that she's sweet on her, that Isabella wants to be her little lamb. So we do what any rational person would do in this situation, and we go to the blacksmith, sell everything that we have, and buy a wedding ring. We follow Isabella home, which is perfectly normal behavior, and we decide to work out how to do it. Here in this room seems as fine a place as any. There's no option popping up, so I gift her the ring, thinking that will be the solution, and she just says delightful, and nothing happens. That ring cost me everything, so I reload. It turns out you need to buy a bouquet of flowers from the lighthouse to ask them on a date. You then get 3 options of where to have your date, and that is where you can propose if you want to. Our love will have to wait for now. Day 18, and it's time to finally fix the bridge and find out where it leads. I need to come over here to retrieve a locket for the old lady, who's totally not a witch, and when I return it to her, it will reveal a huge mystery of this island and my new purpose in life. So, a mermaid. Hello? I trade with the mermaids for the locket and I take it back to the witch, the nice old lady. She tells me she can now trust me and she wants to reveal to me the greatest secret of the island and to come into the basement with her.
Now, dearie, this staircase behind me will grant you access to a place I am no longer allowed to enter.
I head down the deepest, darkest stairway you can imagine, and what I find shocked me. Everyone who dies on this island is stuck here in limbo, and the only way that I can help them is by completing every quest and collectible in the entire game. No pressure then, but also when you help these ghosts you get mana, which can be used to make potions. The witch promises to share all of her potions and recipes with me and that I can use this room whenever I want. She seems really helpful, but this is also a woman that you can buy poison cake from to give to other villagers.
I just want to help with those people, darling, and then sell you some death cake.
Sorry, what was that last bit?
Sell you some death cake.
Right. And why are we doing that?
Just love a bit of death, darling. Love death, love cake, you know. Gotta mix it up.
Right, so you're trying to help the ghosts down below, but also add to them?
Yeah. If people make you mad, you know, what you gonna do? Give them some death cake.
Right. Okay, well, I'll be going now. I stuff my face and pluck up the courage to ask Isabella out finally. I once again follow her into the ice house, and once again there's an old person in here. What is it with these old people and ice?
Morning.
Right, could you give us a minute? She says she'll only date me if I'm good friends with her mum first. Is that a green flag or a red flag? I'm not sure. Either way, I start sucking up to mummy. I get lonely on the farm, so I do what every lonely girl does. I get a cat, and I finally go on my first date with Isabella, and I decide to propose right here, right now. Propose. Let's do it. We'll have our wedding tomorrow. I was kind of expecting a long engagement. No, we're getting married tomorrow. Alright, okay. Hey old lady, we're getting married.
Don't care.
Invites in the mail.
Not bothered.
It's tomorrow, it's the day of the wedding, you get to pick what you wear, and it's officiated by her father. That's a little weird, but then I am marrying the mayor's daughter. A lovely day is marred when a visitor shows up in town with the pox. I spend some time with my wife at the tavern, and when we get home she asks for a baby. So we get to breeding, but then I wake up like this.
What's the matter with me? I got sick, babe.
A small trip to the doctor confirms I have smallpox, and the only thing I can do is eat lots and sleep. I return home to find a potential tragedy in the making. In this one, I try and wipe out an entire family to adopt their child. I spend the day of my daughter's birth trying to survive the pox. I decide to name her Bear. I get better and I go to the village bake-off. I can't even cook, but I somehow win. Viewers in the village gossip that it's because my father-in-law is the judge, which is a slander on my bread. Me and my wife get better, but in all 7 people die from the pox that was spread on my wedding day. My child grows up. Her hobby is stargazing, but she does it at midday in the blazing sun and stares directly at it. The wife wants another baby, and this time I opt for adoption, but there are no orphans in the village, so I do what any sane person would do, and I vow to make some. When it comes to your children, you can choose if they go to school or if they get an apprenticeship. I choose neither, and I make her and her mother work the farm. A baby randomly shows up to be adopted, and I name her Bella after the old woman who saved me in part 1. Summer turns to autumn, and I want another child to work in my field. I mean to take care of, so I search out the witch to buy some death cakes. My target is little Shanna Johns, so I have to take out her 2 dads. Sad. First, I walk into the school, and in front of my 2 kiddos, I give the teacher a poison cake. I baked you a cake. I just wanted to say thank you for doing such a wonderful job teaching my kids.
We never said that. We said it was really mean to us.
Mummy's got this. I attend the funeral, which you might think is in poor taste, but there is even more villainous turns still to come. I leave the funeral and give the still grieving husband a cake of commiseration. Surprise, it's poison. 2 down. I consider taking out the older sister just so that she doesn't get in the way of my plans, but she's preggo, and that feels like a step too far, even for little Morphium Lele. The next day, it is super foggy, it's eerie and creepy, and I wonder if this is some sort of sign that I've done the wrong thing. But it's actually just spooky Halloween times, and the kids look adorable. I forget immediately about all of my villainous deeds. Forgetful as I am, I also forgot to prepare candy for the trick-or-treaters, and all I have in my pocket is an old stone.
Oh, did I do something bad?
Somehow, that made me feel worse than the fact that I orphaned this child a day ago. What's wrong with me? I go to the Halloween party, and the child that I was planning to adopt has been snagged by someone else. My plan has failed, it was all for nothing. So I do the next best thing to having a child, and I buy a couple of goats. In some ways, goats are better than children. They actually produce milk, they don't consume it. So if I could teach them how to water crops, I'd be laughing. I go to the harvest festival, and I give my lovely wife the gift of a blackberry that I picked up off the floor. Once again, I'm a very good judge of people, and this is the face of a happy woman. I play the festival games and I go home. On the way there, my wife is still angry, so I shake out an entire bush of blackberries in front of her to make a point. She loves it. Winter has come, which can only mean 2 things. It's time for Christmas events and for old people to start dropping dead. The problem is, me and my family are the ones getting old. In this one, it's the best ending ever. If you're new here, follow for more. This is what happened next. Winter is here, so it's time for Christmas events and the best ending I've ever seen. I tried to enter a crafting competition, but I instead click the insult button and absolutely roast my mother-in-law.
Oh, what did I do? I have nothing more to say to you. I'm really sorry. It was a misclick.
Everyone is crafting inside the event tent, but I'm told I have to do mine back at my farm. It's like playing Truth or Dare and being dared to go home. I make a doghouse because I'm absolutely in one, and I return to the tent, but when it's my turn to present, she just says I didn't bring anything. I still don't know if I did something wrong or if this was Mother's revenge. I'm angry and I stomp away and I threaten to give everyone death cake.
You're all getting death cake. What was that?
I said you all got the best cake. Being a Leo, I keep the dramatics up for the rest of the night and I break into rhyme like a Dr. Zeus villain. And as the stars came out on that early winter's night, she decided she would be the thing that went bump in the night. I wake up to the news that my mother-in-law has passed on. Never go to bed angry, I guess. I wake up again to my firstborn daughter having aged up.
Bear, how's it going?
Oh my god, what happened to your voice?
I'm an adult now.
It's the Christmas party and wifey is knocking them back like only an eternally and blissfully happily married woman can. She gifts me some watermelon seeds. Is this revenge for all the plant life and fruits? I stand awkwardly between both of my love interests and ponder what could have been. Wow, this is, look, my 2 potential love interests, the one that I married and the one that I didn't because she was a drunk. How funny. How different my life could have been, dear. Oh. The next day I wake up and my wife has gone grey overnight and is now an elder. I go to the mailbox and find my old flame got old and now she's sending me letters. Thanks for being a good friend, Rose. Listen, get out of the DMs, okay? I've been taken for the entire season now. Don't be sending me fish in the mail. My wrinkly waifu won't leave the house, so I give her some affirmations through the door to get her to come to the New Year's party. I think you look prettier than ever, honestly. I see you how I first saw you.
When I walked in and found you playing the piano in Whitfield Manor that time, and I fell in love with you in that very instant. That's still how I look at you. We've been through so much. Every grey hair is a blessing for extra time that we spent together, okay? I'm on the way to New Year's and I find that my adopted daughter has aged up. Belle? Afternoon, ma'am. Everyone is getting old but me. I wonder if my connection to the ghosts of this island, my duty to them, or maybe the witch has bestowed some immortal gift upon me. I'm about to find out the truth, but first it's time for the most magical and beautiful end-of-year event ever. Make a wish, everyone watching. We completed a full season. We got married. We had kids. Now imagine this, and you've been playing for months on end. I'd be sobbing, dude. And then I wake up to this. No, I thought I was immortal. I'm an elder, so now my priorities are keeping my children alive so that when I pass, I can continue to play as them. But that's where this story ends, and the whole 2-hour-long movie version of the first year is here. So follow for more and let me know in a comment if I should do a second season.